been here before, you know what we're doing next. If you are new, grab your remote, put your trigger thumb on that play button, but do not press it. Do not press it. Why? Because we're going to press it at the same time. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
So this is a Christmas episode.
Yes. I said that like 3 times.
I think that's why.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I heard you say that. Okay, wow, good. That's great.
There's actually more than one Christmas episode in this season. Next one too.
That dress, though, amazing.
Sorry, I forgot to close off the couch.
I was so confused and was like, "This does not look like Lorelai's house at all." And I was like, "Oh, I remember now."
Oh wow, are they looking at a new house?
Yep.
A shiny new house.
Well.
Christopher, this shirt looks huge. And what is that stance?
Looks like he's swimming in it.
Yeah, it looks like he borrowed it from Dad's closet.
I don't want to be a pirate. It's wrong.
Still appreciated. Oh, look at the wreath. It's a Christmas episode.
It is? Are you sure?
Yeah, she just had a lot of work done.
Do we
want to move?
Do we interpret that as a guy who's just wishy-washy, doesn't stand up for what he wants, and instead just gives in to everything she wants? 100%. Or do we say that's kind of a nice thing that he did?
Well, I think like with Chris wanting, like, he's waited for her.
Chris.
In Chris's defense, he's waited so long for her, and he knows that she wants to stay in Stars Hollow, but he was just wanting to probably check out how other towns look, considering that he wasn't very welcome. But then he realizes how much she loves where she lives and doesn't want to go anywhere. So very nicely, he's like, "You want to stay, don't you?"
But I can see him wanting to move. Luke just had the place renovated.
I mean, I agree with some of that. You know, I think he wants to make her happy, but I think in some ways Chris is a push-up.
I guess Luke was a pushover too, because he let her live in that house as well.
Yeah, but he renovated it to make it bigger for the two of them to be.
I'm not
I don't know. I think that it's reasonable that he would be like, yeah, of course you love Stars Hollow. You know, I'm not going to push you out of that town.
To be honest, I wouldn't want Emily planning my party either. She just seems too much.
Extra.
Exactly. But she's damn good at it too.
That she is.
Another one of these weird accented people.
You would think by this stage that Emily would tell Lorelai half an hour earlier than the actual time. So she would show up, quote unquote, late, but on time.
I could see that.
My family has to do that to me.
everyone has to do that for me.
I'm the opposite. I usually show up 30 minutes early. It's
Yeah,
bad.
I do that to myself. I'm there an hour before anything.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
MST
I'm-
time.
Totally late.
Everyone here in Utah, it's MST, not only Mountain Standard Time, but Mormon Standard Time. However, I like to be 5 minutes late. That's it.
Kirk.
See Robert in the diner a lot more this season than you.
Yes, Kirk, they are the only ones on.
Aw.
The baby.
The baby.
I have already made my way through all of my snacks, so I'm devastated now.
That is a definite problem.
It's a problem, and I can't leave because the idea of missing anything.
The Dollar Tree has like all the movie sizes, like for $1. So I loaded up on all the stuff that was.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
excellent.
Wait, what?
Dollar Tree has all the movie size candies for $1.
Oh,
So does Walgreens.
Walmart does that too.
I do have some snow cabs. Maybe I should partake.
Yes, do it.
See, look how big his forehead looks in that.
I miss the fitted hat.
I missed the other blue hat.
His ears aren't tucked into this one. I was just gonna say I don't know about seeing the tips of his ears. I think it was better when they were tucked in.
This, the other hat was too big for him.
At the end of the season, someone needs to go back to the audio recordings and clock how much time we spent talking about this hat.
Oh, I
Just
did
that
have a
it's
thought
just
on
that stretch of plastic is real long. I mean, that thing is like a bit longer than a typical snapback, I'd say.
It's probably too small of a hat, and he's got it on the
Yes, he's got it on the last,
biggest
like,
setting.
on the last snap.
I did.
It's also looks really thin, like the actual strip of plastic is. What are we doing here? We're talking about a snapback.
I did have a quick thought on that, and then let's be done with the hat. The design on that hat, like the logo that's on it, is the same as the one that was like the.
Yes, the Connecticut Defenders minor league baseball team.
Oh, is that what?
Yep.
But it's the same as the
Oh.
one that was the flat back.
Yes.
You should give him some solid advice. It's always a good idea to have him. I appreciate that Luke wants to like work it out, and they may have a compromise, but
Yeah.
you know, it's always smart to have something.
It rarely ever works out when co-parenting, trying to do it on your own. I've seen Teen Mom. It doesn't always work.
That you're not wrong.
Luke should hire Nicole.
Oh, dear God.
Oh boy.
We do not need her back.
Oh, shh. That was funny though.
Why? Thank you.
The Bohemian.
Rent was amazing.
Why was I acting like a grandma? That's what my grandma does. Like you can hear her phone from like across the room because it's so loud.
Hey, Loretta's
How
here.
loud is she on the phone?
Right?
Hey, Loretta.
Hi, Loretta.
Loretta, you were my co-host, but then I just read your message saying that you actually weren't going to be able to make it to the event. So I brought another co-host on, but I promise you will be my co-host in one of these next episodes. You pick the episode that you definitely know you're going to be at.
I say that so often for no reason. That line just lives in my head.
I do.
Also, Timmy, Timmy fell down the.
I cannot eat generic Pop-Tarts.
No.
I only eat the unfrosted one.
Yes. Oh, you're my new best friend.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Pop-Tarts.
Frosted ones are nothing.
go.
It's just nasty if they don't have.
I love them all.
Oh, also, I'm gonna try bacon again. Wish me luck, guys.
Are you
Oh
baking?
boy.
That's real.
Your house
That's
down.
real Captain Crunch.
I have Pam this time.
Yes, it is.
You can cook it in the oven. It's
Very
the best
true.
that way.
So, spaghetti.
That's a good pasta sauce brand. I forget what it's called, but that's a good
Classic
pasta sauce brand.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that one's good.
Those old fridges, though.
Yeah, no, Zach, I don't eat any of the frosted ones because they all have gelatin in them. But the unfrosted ones are good, so lucky.
Side note, did anyone else see that Keiko and Todd were in Stars Hollow?
I did.
Ooh.
Go to Keiko's Instagram.
I totally forgot that I was even on the couch. And that I
Hey, that cashier was on the Disney Channel.
I've been having responses
Yep.
to everything you guys have said, and I'm like, yeah, no, I think, yeah.
I always do
Now I'm
the
like-
opposite, Shauna. I always forget I'm not on the couch and I try and unmute.
So weird.
There's nothing worse than when you have to wait for someone to come and manually void something.
It has an entirely different meaning in health.
Voiding someone?
Wow.
I don't want to know.
Doula.
Not where Phil is though.
Named it Doula. Yeah, we named her after the person that helped us at birth.
And just in case you didn't tell, it is a girl.
That snowsuit they have her in is ginormous.
I was gonna say she
An
looks
18 month.
Serious puffer.
She is swaddled.
Isn't it cute?
And I don't think
Look how
that's a baby
cute
there.
If she was just newborn, that she would only be like half of that.
Oh
Look
yeah,
how
she'd
cute-
be
how cute they
minute.
look.
Even yeah, that this is more like 6 months.
Oh boy.
6 months? Are you kidding me? My
Well, Liz,
daughter is
she's-
half. My daughter is 7 months and half that size.
Well, Liz said that
My
she's
kids
11
were
days and she's
small.
11 pounds.
I'm guessing it's a doll, right?
I mean, that looks like
Yes.
that is a doll.
Just clarify.
Can you
I like how
imagine
they don't
disliking a
strap it back in
baby? Oh
either.
my gosh.
He
just-
is
they just set it
literally
in
a
there.
4-year-old.
I don't like this baby because it belongs to your ex's sister. Ugh. Stupid baby.
There's so much food being mentioned in this episode, and I feel like they're making fun of me for being out of snacks already.
What's the matter, Lee? You don't want to talk about it?
Oh wow.
Oh man, that was
wow.
mean. Now I'm hungry.
I know.
Oh God. Why do you think I'm
I'm thinking-
making bacon?
Bacon's never a bad choice. I'm sorry, Lee. You're probably thinking, Zach, it's not your business.
Zach.
Oh, I wanted to say I was trying to figure out how to say nacho in the conversation, but
Look, I don't mean be jalapeno, food
Hey,
stuff,
John,
but
can we drop Zach to the feedbacks?
Oh my goodness.
I'll stop.
The dad jokes.
Did I miss
I love
something?
it.
Zach is he is like dad joke incarnate.
I can literally hear him smiling. Even when he's muted, I can hear it.
Yes. Not tonight. Too much of a Monday.
Zach-
I'm liking
Zach
Logan's
is-
outfit, but like I could
Zach,
do
you are a dad joke in solid form.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
over 9,000.
Lucy.
I'm waiting for this part.
Me too.
God, I love Lucy.
That guy in the background
is
is just piling the cabbage on his plate as he's pretending to talk.
Does Yale have an art school?
Oh, they have
I don't know,
drama.
it's big.
Should have thought to ask that to Devin.
Yeah,
Yale
what I was about to
absolutely
say.
does
Should
have an
ask
art school.
It's just when I think of art schools, I don't think Yale. I think of like Art Institute, Pratt. I don't think of Yale.
Well, I mean, there's Yale drama, and drama is a form of art. Yale has dance schools, which is a form of art. So I would assume they have art.
Yale
yeah.
absolutely has an art school.
Yeah.
English is considered an art subject, art humanities.
Yeah, absolutely has an art school.
He looks terrified.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's delicious. Those are some white potatoes.
Oh my
What?
God. Oh, I love that Logan is totally keeping it under wraps. He can see what's going on.
Well,
Logan
you know,
is
like
like,
he
let us
looks like
talk
he
about
wanted
it.
to say something.
I love that look from Logan.
I really like that he didn't go like, what do you mean? Of course, he's like, let me just wait for them to leave and let's have a conversation so I can understand before I blow this.
Okay.
His
Is
name's boyfriend.
Why are those potatoes so white?
Powdered, maybe?
And I think like you guys are really big on like the Yukon or like the
Yeah,
waxy
we
potato.
got different kinds.
I am appalled.
I sometimes make mine and they're purple because my potatoes are purple that I grow.
That is wild.
Oh, his
Her hair is cute.
Oh, French fries though. I'm pretty sure I said the exact same thing last night. No wonder he called her beautiful.
Really? He's gonna
This is a really like great conversation they're having.
Yeah, I'm not Logan's biggest fan, but I think the way he handles this in this scene is really good. He just talks about it like a person should. Yeah.
Everything's
gone one
all
way
right so
from-
far.
Well, we're done. I'm not going to talk to you. Bye. To explain.
OBT does on the bacon theory. Everything's good. Nothing's burned.
Yet.
Hey,
Whoa.
you have
This
no
is-
faith in me.
This is really interesting.
Right?
Yes.
now she's like
That was
Oh
like
my
an
gosh.
adult
Like,
conversation.
is is it possible that there could be some Marty-ness happening in this season?
Is it possible that you stop trying to get like our favorite couples broken up? Like, I don't know, maybe not.
Probably, most definitely.
I mean, at least you're over Dean, so I guess you can't hate it.
John's still 100% on the Team Marty train.
That's fine. I love Marty, but like,
it's not the train. It's the team. It's the Team Marty helicopter.
Did you just catch that?
John, Lily,
wants a baby.
Chris is trying to get Lorelai to have a
let's make a baby.
Yeah.
So Roy's.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Just tell us how you really feel.
Right. But I think that it's very different here than with like thinking about that with somebody like Luke, because she already has a child with him, and there's a lot that she's reminded of.
Can we put David Sutcliffe in a parka, please?
Do you want to put him in that little puffer jacket that TJ's and Liz's baby was?
Dulo was wearing.
I kind of thought he was wearing a parka or a vest.
Okay, she said nobody. Let's chill. Thank you. That's some garbage man behavior right there.
I find this interesting because she had said before she wanted to possibly have another child. Now all of a sudden it's a concern.
Right. Well, she said yes, but she didn't meet. They really haven't been as a couple together in this kind of a way ever.
She said mate.
This man really said, "Oh, you don't want to bang it out with me right now? You must have that in a relationship." She's like, "Bro, no, I'm just tired."
The fact that he's having this entire spiral because Lorelai was holding a baby
with Luke, though, seeing what he could have, it's seeing what she really wanted right in front of his face.
I do get that, but I still think he's a bit babyish. And now he's sulking. My lord!
Yeah.
Why is he
Slap
being
this
so?
man. Slap
He's
him.
being a baby.
Wow, that was cool. That was cool.
It's a kid.
He's that relation.
In our chat version in the future, there will avatars will have little headphones on them, and when a person is putting on both their headphones, they'll tap something, and then you'll see that their avatar has two headphones on. That's what just happened to me. I just had to put two headphones on because I could not miss that scene. That was cool.
Good choice.
Rightfully so, John.
What is that background sound guy wearing, and where was he going?
I love the little kid gang.
Oh my god.
But they do.
I thought I told you to get lost.
I love how competitive Kirk gets with children.
I got money on the kid.
I think we'll all put money on the kid.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. Down from 20% down to 0.3%.
I don't know.
She means I'm not comfortable with giving up my power to you.
Wow.
I would fight.
I hate people that use kids.
Her and Chris are perfect for each other.
Yes.
Thanks, Lily. I really appreciate
now do you
that.
see why I don't like her?
Christopher. Let's be clear.
Christopher's too weak to handle Anna. Love this dress.
I could be completely ignorant. The party planner, is that a well-known actor? Because he has that kind of vibe, but I don't know him.
No.
He might be, actually. I mean, I've noticed him. The only way I recognize him is from like Law and Order.
Mary said he was in the Next Generation. The Star Trek Next Generation is an alien.
Oh, I wish I knew his name.
Yeah, he plays Data in a game of like 3D chess. He's also in the movie Arachnophobe.
Amazing.
His name is
Edward acting like a 2-year-old.
His name is Edward Hibbert.
What a name. I love it.
Thank you.
And he was born in Long Island, New York.
I adore you and your very quick ability to stalk people.
By the way, this is turning into a full-on wedding.
Of course it is.
Yeah. It's Emily. Would you expect anything?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's even closer to what I predicted than when it was just a party.
John, you're just being really creepy accurate lately, and it's freaking me out.
That's why I'm even though it's at 0.3%, I'm still holding off just a bit of hope that we're gonna see some sparks in the air.
People get together over shared hatred a lot of the time. That happens. It's a real life thing.
Yeah.
I just read a thing about red flags in relationships, and one of the things was if they double down on something, they know that you don't agree with or like.
Just as you said, John.
Did Chris miss his nap time or something?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, when it
Big
turned around and said, "No, we're not giving you a tip tonight."
Or he could have said, "Hey, I don't want to go," and be a man.
Does he not like compute that it might not be because of him, but because of like pregnancy is like a big.
Whoa, some jealousy rearing its ugly.
That diner guy.
Yep.
Jackass.
He is just a toddler in a suit.
He embarrasses her so much she does not give a crap. As he should.
$100.
In Ohio, you like automatically get shared custody, like 50-50.
Really?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, if you wanted something different, you'd have to agree to it or sue them for it.
I could
otherwise.
But like as a dad, I definitely.
Like mine's 80-20 because of my ex's schedule, but
makes sense.
A girlfriend of mine decided on just giving her ex-husband like 50-50 custody and $25 a week in child support. I was like, oh wow. And
he's been in jail.
Yeah, he remembers.
I think Luke would greatly benefit from some therapy, as would
absolutely.
literally anyone else. But yeah, Luke could go for some therapy.
I think anybody that walks into a courtroom with a mustache like that automatically.
He reminds me of a generic version of Victor from Days of Our Lives when I was.
Victor
that's what I always have thought. Who just happens to be Jennifer Aniston's
dad, and he was actually in the Christmas episode.
Yeah, that's
with the Yale.
Long time ago. Yep.
We're getting more deliciousness.
Ooh, turn those subtitles on, John.
Ew, Mark.
I'm very like John. I also like the conflict. I love the effort he's making to befriend Lucy.
Wait, we didn't see that.
No, we did not.
What a con.
What? Did I miss something?
No, I was just making a joke. That was probably when they were watching the Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, exactly. That's totally when it was.
The constant calling him boyfriend is really starting to grate on me a bit.
Yeah.
I think Marty likes it.
Yeah, welcome to the fandom, John.
It's cute.
Is that really a thing in the fandom? Like they can't stand that she calls him boyfriend constantly?
I don't know. I really wasn't part of the fandom until this.
I've always
started.
hated it, so it's a thing in my.
Look at Logan's face.
Logan is like, okay, you wanna argue? Or?
How dare he pick up her napkin?
It was the trust fund jab.
Is Marty left-handed?
He handed himself the glass in the left hand. I was catching that.
The fork in front of him though is on the right.
That's weird.
He's cutting with his right. Or with,
unless that's the spoon and he was using it to help on the fork.
Ruh-roh.
Oh. Holy.
Boom.
This guy.
Oh, damn.
Bruh, Marty, don't even say we. Shut up.
Well, who are you telling to shut up?
Marty, because he's over here saying we. It's like, no, you started this, buddy.
I thought you were saying that she should shut up. I mean,
oh no, man. she should yell.
Yeah, she should yell. Jeez.
And Logan was right too.
I don't know if that's.
I think Logan should.
True. I don't totally feel like he did the right.
He was being nice until he got annoyed at Marty, and then he used it to lash out.
Right.
The way he did it sucks, but I don't like to lie for other people either. I refuse to. I've told some people some things they asked me not to, but I don't like to lie for others.
He was careful.
I agree with that, but he did want to come out to dinner with them. He should have been like, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Yeah,
I'll have to keep up a facade.
These after bites are hilarious.
Yeah, like he was perfectly happy being part of that situation until Marty got on his nerves, and then he used it to get back at him.
Yep.
Oh, the stacks of towels are giving me war flashbacks.
No, lies suck, honey. Wake up a little.
No.
I love that bit. They get
John,
more
I feel like we need
complicated.
Babsy to weigh on this topic if she
What do you want her to weigh in on?
if boys.
John, don't.
And this is why I'm gay.
That response. I mean, that's fair.
I don't know. I feel like my cousin has had as many girlfriend problems as I've had in the past.
Oh, by the way, I made bacon. Nothing went off.
I did think you'd been quiet. I was getting a little worried that you died.
It's the smoke and the.
I love how you have so much faith in me.
I mean, I was here last time.
I mean, your track record's not that great.
I didn't have Pam the last time.
I think this is like kind of ridiculous. It's like where it's like I can't believe he told her. It's like what do you mean? What you mean you can't believe you lied to her for like months? You're upset about her finding out, not that you lied to her?
I do like how Roy, said.
Great song.
Oh, absolutely. Gotcha.
Wait, if I think about it right, it happens after this part, right?
Just watch.
The Firefly fandom jokes around saying it's the Firefly.
Oh,
some people call me the space cowboy.
See?
This is what I'm spoiled on.
There it is.
Oh, you're kidding,
John.
Yeah, I saw it on a commercial.
He saw this.
I saw it on a commercial. Saw it on a.
I had a feeling
this
that's
is
what you were talking
fabulous.
about when you said you
Who do you
saw
got money on? I got money on Luke.
I saw it on a commercial. I can't help it.
This scene is fabulous.
Well, it is in a
that was
promo.
like all over television.
Awesome.
It is on the promo.
The way
What
they're
was that
stripping down, you would almost think they're gonna do something else.
Chris's first punch was hilarious.
The fact that Jay just
This
both
scarf
are so
around his
mad,
knuckles.
and they just go.
I have that little trait.
Why do they look like that?
The pad across the back to support his spine.
This had to have been choreographed, right?
Don't worry.
Of course,
Completely.
all of it. And they're not hitting each other. They're hitting the air in front, but there's like a
stand.
Bro, why do they look like beasts from the X-Men?
They look like the middle stage of evolution.
Are any of these guys?
It reminds me of the fight between Buddy the Elf and quote unquote Santa when he knocked over
Put on the throne of blood.
This is my favorite part of it, where they just both crawl away, not saying a word.
They're both like, we're too old for this. My back hurt.
I'm too
It
old
was a
for it.
long
I'm like
time
15
coming,
years-
these two.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
Chris
How
Ben
many
deserving this.
seasons? Like three
Just
or
the
four
fact that
seasons?
there was not a word
No,
said.
from the
whole
first
thing.
season. The first season when he came and she was supposed to paint the diner with him.
Right, but what
True.
And
happened?
you think that
Like,
Luke was holding
Back-
that grudge since season one?
Well, did Luke
Just from
even
season 5.
know that's why Lorelai didn't show up?
Yeah, he said
More
says
conflict.
it was a guy. He goes, "That's why, because of him."
Damn.
Once again, she's gotten herself into a situation of her own making and is like, yeah, it's just.
I feel bad
Technically,
for
it was
her.
Marty's first fault, but she progressed.
Emily
Oh my
always
Lord.
stays there. I always forget she's there.
I forgot about this.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I like that line. It's very Emily and it's very funny.
Right.
I'm gonna give it whether you want it or not.
Sorry.
But she's actually getting Lorelai to focus on the actual, my mother cares about my marriage.
She's caring for her in the Emily way.
No, if she was doing it in the Emily way, she would have worked behind the scenes instead of coming to her and talking to her calmly.
She is saying it in the Emily way.
Yeah, except she's kind of working behind the scenes, and then she's working instead of going to Christopher and telling Christopher what to do, she's going to Lorelai and telling Lorelai what to do.
Maybe
well, Chris was fighting
opposite of the vow renewal thing.
What did you say?
That was an interesting ending there. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
How about how you feel about Logan telling Marty?
Well, hold on a second. How about I open up the couch and bring some other folks up here, and we will have a wonderful discussion that will begin with that question. Sherry, can you do me a great favor as my co-host? Can you just be eyeing the couch for any mic flashes?
You got
great. So, Chris, ask the question again.
What do you think about Logan telling Marty the truth?
Oh, I thought it was lame that he did that.
But
I mean, it was definitely an exciting part of the episode. I enjoy that it happened, but it was like super lame. Just he didn't need to be there. Like if really it was truly about like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to lie for you, then he should have said that from the beginning and not gone. And I just don't think that that's what it was about. I think that it was about like whatever issue he has with whatever. I mean, he's kind of like in the same boat that, I guess, I mean, not quite as much so, but like kind of, he's kind of in Lucy's shoes, right? Because he also sort of feels like something weird is going on, and he's, I don't know. I didn't like it, although I can get that he's feeling a little insecure. It's just odd for that character. Not that I don't think that character can feel insecure. I'm just saying, like, he's been presented as such a confident guy, and now we're seeing how when he's a little insecure in regards to his own relationship. And I think rightfully so. He's in a long distance relationship. If there's any reason for him to feel insecure, it's the fact that he doesn't know things that are going on in her life, and that she's keeping things from him and all of that kind of stuff. But the way that he handled it.
I was going to say, I think Marty's comment about how he's just sitting around waiting on his trust fund triggered Logan into reacting poorly, because I think he would have gone through for the dinner at least, but Marty took a dig at him, which I think ticked him off. And then he kind of lost his composure and said it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not saying
am I the only one who doesn't get why
but
Lucy
I think that's what
that pissed?
Why Lucy's that pissed? I mean, I totally get it.
Because it's weird. She doesn't understand why they lied.
I get it too. Yeah.
I mean, I put myself in that moment and just tried to imagine what it would be like to like run through all these memories that you've had with Rory and him for the past however many weeks, and now every one of those memories is a lie. I'd be pissed.
But it's not.
I'd be super embarrassed and really.
Oh yeah, me too.
She feels like she was made of
maybe they
fool.
had a falling out and they didn't want to be friends anymore. Like, you don't know why. She jumped straight to anger.
But it's not about that.
I mean, it's very initial shock.
It's just initial shock. I mean, I'm sure that like if she steps back from it, she might be able to get there. But at least with Marty, maybe. But in that moment, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure that her mind started playing all of these memories of them together and all of them together and the total lie that they had. And I don't think that it's about it. I don't think it has anything to do with like her thinking in that moment that maybe there's something between the two of them. I think it's just simply the shock of, I have been lied to for all of these weeks.
And she was the only one that didn't know. All three of them knew they had a history.
Yeah.
And she didn't. And that's
so
embarrassing,
it's so
especially
embarrassing
with how much she talked about Marty to Rory.
Yeah.
My whole thing on this is that like the cliche phrase, timing is everything, is completely true. It can be a bad thing and it could be a good thing. And in this instance, there are times and places where information like that should be shared in that not such a public place, and it should be had between two people, or in this case, Marty, Lucy, and Rory. And Logan, I mean, I get, like people have said, and I've said before, I get why Logan did that, because he didn't want to be a part of it. He hates like lying, although he has his own share of lying. Anyway, not the point. But at the same time, like Rory probably had idea in her head of how she was going to tell Lucy, probably sit her down, talk to her, and then tell her. And that would have been fine. But then Logan decided to take it upon himself to say it, and it didn't even come out in like a nice way. And like, I totally get why Lucy is upset, because she's been friends with Rory for however long now. And like, Rory honestly had so much time to tell her, like from the moment that she found out who boyfriend was, and she didn't take it. So like, Logan's at fault, of course, but also Rory, because like Lucy's face was like, she was upset. She had every right to, because she's like, my friend.
She was blindsided. She was blindsided.
Exactly.
Emma was flashing.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree and say, like, I don't think Logan was right to tell Lucy at all. I understand that he didn't want to be a part of it, and he didn't want to like lie to her because she's a nice girl. But I agree with you, John, when you said that he shouldn't have gone to dinner if he didn't want to, be a part of it, because he didn't want to be in that situation. I agree, and I also agree with Tasha when she said that it was on Rory too, because Rory definitely should have been the one to tell. Well, honestly, Marty should have told Lucy, but if Marty wasn't going to, I think Rory definitely should have. I understand that she was worried and she didn't know how to tell Lucy, but it's horrible what she did and what Marty did. And I just think Marty was so childish about it, because it'd been 2 years, and like, I understand that like he had lingering feelings for her, but like, you should at least tell your girlfriend that like you know Rory. Like, it's just weird. So yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that the person at that table who is the least at fault, I mean, not at all at fault, is Lucy. All the other three have like a part to play in of what happened there, and I feel the worst for her.
Oh, absolutely. I feel horrible for Lucy.
And I think that the second like Rory was away from Marty, she should have said, look, he put me on the spot. I was completely blindsided myself, and I didn't know him since freshman year. And then it wouldn't have blown up as much as it did. She probably still would have broken up with him. Why didn't you tell me? But for them, for a while, Rory's hanging out with Lucy for a while now. Just to not say anything is not a good
Was that a spoiler?
Yep, I agree.
No.
Oh,
No, I said no. I was talking about before. I was talking about the at the 2002 dance.
Okay.
I think she was talking hypothetically, right? Sherry, you were talking.
Hypothetically, she would have probably.
No, I'm talking about before. Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
So
I
so
think
Dawn, now we've talked about the boys. Does anybody else have more to say about the boys?
I'll just quickly say I think everyone's covered it pretty well. I was just gonna say, like, she had a very, very initial reaction, you know, like she has no context. She doesn't understand why she's been lied to. She just knows that her boyfriend and her friend have lied, and she has no idea what they're covering, you know. So it's just very initial, what the fuck? Like,
and it was more
I
than
think
freshman
she's very
year.
entitled to it.
Yeah,
Say
Marty
again,
said
Chris?
it was fresh. I said it was more than freshman year because Marty said it was freshman year, but it was really freshman and sophomore year until he realized he would be able to date her. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. He even tried to make it sound less like a big deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
Like the
knew
first
he
time they
was
met,
in
he was
shit.
naked.
True. He was naked when they first met.
And what's interesting, I don't know if this means anything or has any symbolism, but if you remember the big scene where Marty realized that he was never going to get anywhere with Rory, was in a Chinese restaurant, or they are in an Indian restaurant.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh wow.
yes.
Nice catch.
Yeah. Do we think that that's regurgitation, or do you think
That's
or do you think
interesting.
that's sort of like a,
No,
a
I don't think
throwback?
so, because that's Chinese. That was a Chinese restaurant, and they had just left and all this, and they were around his,
right.
But they were around Logan's friends, which is a little ironic.
And
now
but,
they're around,
right, but
Rory's
Logan.
friends, so.
Logan says that, you know, they used to hang out and they watched Duck Soup. The day that happened was the day they watched Duck Soup.
Watched Duck Soup.
Right.
Yeah, and they were like best friends. I mean, they were really good friends. And then the minute he realized he wasn't gonna, he goes, I like you as more than a friend. She goes, yeah, I like Logan. And he goes, yeah, I figured, or something. And
he realized he wasn't
like
going
the
to
minute that happened, it's like that was the end of that friendship. It just kind of destroyed the friendship.
Yeah, I mean, the cuisine didn't really matter, but the point is, you've got these two restaurant scenes that both kind of go sideways. So.
Nancy?
Yeah, the one thing that I was gonna say when Marty tells her that he likes her, I hate the way she says, I like Logan. You know, she says it in this condescending way to him, and I'm like, it's kind of mean when she says it. I like Logan.
I know, she wasn't really kind about letting him down easy. She didn't really let him down easy, you know.
Wait. The way she said it was, I like Logan.
Yeah, and she kind of like spaced it out with like a, I'm so sorry that I have to break this.
Yeah,
to
I don't.
That was the way I remember it.
I never.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was mean at all.
I almost felt like she was
bad
saying,
to hurt
like
him.
she was figuring it out in that moment herself.
Yeah, like
And I don't think-
that makes sense to me too. But it seemed, if anything, it seemed kind of like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she didn't want to hurt him, but she didn't like him in that way, so she had to tell him. But she definitely didn't want to hurt him because she cared about him as a friend. So that's why I think she also said it that way, because she was like, I like Logan. Like, she didn't want to hurt him, but also, like, I didn't realize she said it, but she was also kind of figuring it out for herself in that moment, which is why there was like that spacey.
Yeah, but this is
totally
like,
random, but
it looked like her eyes were kind of like, she says darty-eyed when she said it too. That's like,
this is so random, but can everyone take a look at Erin's avatar?
I was just looking at that.
I noticed it when she came up. It's great.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we very much enjoyed
Flawless.
your birthday one for John's episode.
a fight between Luke and Christopher.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
The segue. I was just gonna ask what you thought about the other two.
That was
boys.
the best thing ever. It was so great.
I absolutely love that they
the
just don't
best.
speak the entire time. It's complete silence
Yeah.
and just fight.
Just
Go
evil
nuts.
face.
So funny,
The
but, like,
look.
you know, I've been spoiled on that since the beginning of our watch, pretty much. Like, you know, when I would talk about how I feel spoiled about Christopher being a huge part of the final seasons of the show, it wasn't even the shadowing of the director and the fact that I was there for the episode with them in France. Like, I'd kind of mostly forgotten that, but I hadn't forgotten that promo. I just remember that promo, and so I've been kind of playing that in my head throughout most of our watch. Every once in a while, I would just like remember them fighting, because that was like all over TV at the time.
I should have just made that my tweet
gifts.
vid. Because I didn't make that. What?
You're unmuted, and it sounds like you're yelling at
No,
somebody else.
that was somebody down below.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
So
was somebody
they
down below.
muted.
Sorry.
What I was saying was, like, that would have, like, if I would have known that, John, I would have made that my tweet video, because I didn't do that, especially because I didn't think that you would know.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, I did know, yeah, and I've actually even seen that. I've seen that meme in the Gilmore Girls memes, and I'm like, there's that promo. But yeah, that was really big. I remember on TV around that time they were showing that a lot. Like, that was a good tease for the episode.
Who do you think won?
So funny.
Who do I think won?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think either of them.
The
won.
viewers.
Yeah. Very big.
Yeah, I don't think
viewers.
either of them won. They both got in pretty good hits, and both of them threw each other around in ridiculous ways, and then they both just sort of sauntered off.
And they had the caveman posture.
Yes.
Why does Chris have any right to be mad at Luke, though? This is what I don't understand. I get why Luke is annoyed with Chris. Chris tried to break them up at the wedding.
But Luke did punch him in the face.
Right.
Yeah, but
I mean, he was
still,
upset.
It's like Chris had a problem with Luke
No,
before that.
I think that's the main thing. Is that Chris is still like the idea that there's, I think, probably a feeling of being just a little bit of a feel. Well, not a little bit, probably a lot feeling of being violated. He walked into his apartment building. He opened the door and punched him right there in his house. Like, I'm just sure that Christopher has been it's been eating at him.
And I think he's feeling, especially after saying to Lorelai, "Oh, let's have a baby," and she's like, "Dude, chill." Like, I think he sees hesitancy in Lorelai where she didn't have it with Luke, and especially after seeing them outside the store, I think he's just feeling something there, you know. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting a lot of hesitancy from my wife, which I just don't see between them," and he's not happy.
They're both being very small men.
Insecurity as well.
The part that I didn't like about that scene, I didn't hear much because I was cooking, but I did have subtitles on. When like Chris was being all butthurt about it, it's like, and I made the comment, it's not like it's a pair of shoes, it's a kid and getting pregnant. And Lorelai's problem, I mean, she's not old, obviously, but she's probably at the point where it's like, okay, like I have a kid that's going to be graduating from college this year, and I have like my business and all that, and maybe she just doesn't want to have another kid. Like she I mean, obviously she loves kids, and like Suki and Jackson's kids and stuff like that, but doesn't mean that she wants to have another one, because that's a lot of work. And I just don't like how Chris was kind of trying to like persuade her, and it's like, dude, like, did you not get the hint the first hesitation?
And she's basically just signed up for helping raise Gigi. Like, Gigi's still only little, so like
she's only 4.
She's already got kind of a kid to raise, you know.
And she's not the nicest kid.
And well, but we really don't know that if she's, you know, we're told that she's been much better behaved and stuff like that. But with her living with Gigi, she hasn't done that yet as a full-time thing. So let's get situated with kid number 2. That's the one that's in the house, kid number 2 in general. And then let's see, because I mean, she didn't say I don't want to have kids. She goes, I think I'd like to have another kid someday. It doesn't mean let's drop everything and say
Literally
now is the
drop
time.
your pants.
Yeah. Harvest guy.
Sorry, Chef.
Oh shit! It's actually there's still another minute.
Not on my
So
end.
many people.
Oh really?
So many people.
Yeah, I still have like
relationship
30, 45
problems.
seconds.
Yes,
with having a kid, you know, and this is just a perfect example of that. Hey, Mark, how are things down south?
Hi, Mark.
Hey. They are
bye,
very
Zach.
bright. We went from complete darkness to complete light now. And now, in any event, I heard my name earlier, and I was in the middle of a different conversation and couldn't join in. But was anyone looking for something specific?
Oh, I was just I
Expertise
saw you.
of middle-aged men fighting.
Yes.
Who do you think won?
No one.
Neither
that
of
was
them
such
won.
a bad scene.
Now you can.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that you can understand where he's been steaming from the fight of getting punched in the face when he opened the door, and I can understand where Chris is coming from that aspect. I mean, I'd be steaming over that for months.
And then just seeing him outside, and then with Lorelai there at the little stroller. I mean, it's humiliating.
What did he expect though?
Not to be punched in the face in his own apartment. I mean, that's like the least that he can expect in the world.
I mean,
I think I agree with.
True, but
that's the least. You know,
Haven't we all been punched in our own doorways, guys?
No.
Come on.
Yeah,
I actually
of course we have.
Yes, I got
What?
punched in my own doorway.
Who punched you?
Whenever I was in high school, this girl thought that I was messing around with her boyfriend, and literally he was at my house working on a computer in a completely different room from me because he didn't have his own computer. So I was upstairs in my room, he was downstairs on the computer. My doorbell rang. I came to the doorbell, opened the door, and she hit me in the face.
Oh my Lord.
Did you hit her back?
Did you
That
punch
is
her in the
Gilmore-
street at
that is some
Christmas?
Gilmore Girls drama right there, Jessica.
Did you hit her back?
Oh yeah, we went to blows on the stairs right in front of my house. Because you don't
Which
come in
arm
my
did
house
you-
and hit me for no reason.
Excellent.
At that time, I didn't break anything. I did have one of those giant cordless phones in my hand because this was the year 2000, and I had a giant cordless phone, so I smacked her in the head with it. That was about it.
You should have strangled her.
Oh my god! Those
I
things
love
hurt.
this so much.
Should have strangled her.
Massive cat fight.
All
the
right.
No cord.
Here's the thing with Chris, is that like he living in Stars Hollow. It's Tom Thumb tiny. Like Lorelai said in one episode back in season 3, the whole town's so small you can put it in an envelope and mail them for $1.40. It's Tom Thumb tiny. Chris had to have known that at some point, especially with their history or just being in town, that Luke and Lorelai are going to interact, like especially because now Liz is in town, and
of course,
her
I'm
and
sure,
Liz are friends.
I'm sure he expected that. It doesn't change the fact that he would have a very difficult time dealing with it if he was punched in the face in his own doorway by that.
True, but he's got to put on his big boy pants and suck it up.
I mean, be easier said than done.
Yeah.
Not very
I gotta
easy
say,
for a toddler
I really
to do.
don't think that watching her with the baby would have bothered me at all. I mean, maybe it's just a different person, but I don't think watching Lorelai outside the store.
I think it's more that
would have bothered me.
You're much stronger man, Mark. You're much stronger.
I think that just seeing her with the baby with Luke, because especially since they really haven't talked to each other than her showing up at the hospital for 2 minutes. So they really haven't spoken since they broke up. And then all of a sudden it's in Chris's face, her with the baby, and they're laughing together. And I think that he's just not secure in his relationship or in himself.
I also think that I don't think that Christopher got upset about Luke and Lorelai and the baby. I don't think that the baby was a huge part of. I don't know if that was a big part of what Christopher was thinking at all in that moment. He was probably just noticing Luke and thinking about, that's the guy who punched me in my doorway, and that was probably enough. I think where the baby comes into play is only after he proposes the idea of having a baby with Lorelai, and she's all weird about it, because then he can actually link how she is now with what he saw outside the on the sidewalk, right?
I think with that, it's Lorelai humming and hawing, whether she did or she didn't. Seeing that with the baby, it's kind of like he wants to lock her down again. Like, if she has another kid, she's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, but that's just...
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree too. That's what I see.
I agree.
In all fairness, I know that I'm a very different man than him, though, because I'm 9,000 miles away from my wife. I'm watching a Gilmore Girls event online, and I'm not the typical man.
You don't think that Christopher would be with us watching these nightly?
No, not at all.
No. He's sulking.
Yeah.
Do you think Luke would?
No.
Nope.
Do you think Digger would?
No. And he wouldn't want to be in the same room as you
and then leave.
I could see Jackson doing
Oh,
it.
Alex.
Oh yeah,
would.
Jackson.
I can see
Alex.
Jackson and I can see Dean.
Kirk.
Oh,
I can see Kirk watching.
I think
Kirk
if Gigi
won.
wanted Chris to join, he would join with Gigi.
Oh my God.
I think
Gigi
Brian
would
and Zach
first.
would watch.
We're trying to figure it out.
Brian would definitely watch. I don't know if Zach would watch. No, Zach would probably
Brian,
watch.
really?
Probably. Actually, I think that Zach would initially scoff at the idea. Brian would be watching it, and then he would somehow get Zach to watch an episode, and Zach would become addicted.
What about Gil?
Yes.
I think Gil would probably enjoy it as well.
Okay, now just because it's my team and I want to speak for my team here, what about Jess?
No.
I don't think Jess would be into it.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Ever leaving
I don't
home.
think Jess would be
I'm
into it.
sorry.
I don't think Jess would. I don't think Logan would be watching it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
either.
Logan might watch an episode or two here and there, but I don't think he would watch consistently.
Yeah, that's right. He would watch every once in a while. If she was watching, he'd plop down and he'd probably know a lot of it. He'd probably, because he's quick, he'd probably able to sort of piece together what he remembered here and there watching it. But I don't think Jess would watch it at all. And he'd probably really go out of his way not to.
Oh, hell no.
TJ would totally be
I
here.
don't think all the females
TJ
would.
would. TJ would watch it.
TJ would definitely watch.
For sure. Yeah.
TJ would watch it.
Logan
And
everything
TJ would also, he would remember everything.
He would be on
he
it.
would
Yes, he
remember
would.
every single.
And Kirk would. I
He'd
think
pick a
Kirk would
team.
watch it too.
Oh yeah. Kirk would
I think
definitely watch it as
Kirk
well.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Nancy. Definitely.
Yeah.
Lulu would.
Lulu
But
would
the
watch
thing
it with
is-
Kirk.
Kirk
Bet
would watch it, but
too,
it would
with
be
Maury.
Lulu. It would be Kirk that would get Lulu into it, not the other way around.
All right.
But
Kirk would be
watch it with
scheduling
Lulu.
watches.
All the dialogue.
Kirk would be
Wow.
scheduling watches for his own movie.
Taylor
I
would
think
be
Maury-
into it
this
all.
com-
That's what it comes
I
down
can see
to.
Maury and Babette watching it too.
We've
Oh,
lost
yeah.
control.
And John,
Did
what
we ever
would-
have it?
What
No.
would Brian think
Hello?
about the scenes between Emily and Lorelai there at the end? Would Brian think that Emily was supporting her daughter in the way she should, or that she was just doing her Emily? Haha. Can you guys hear me? Maybe not.
Yeah,
John.
I think John
My-
was having issues with
Yeah,
his.
my,
I wanted
my,
to hear
my,
Mary's
my,
thoughts on this
yeah,
as
my,
well.
my,
I was asking what Brian would think about the Emily and Lorelai at the end. Would Brian be thinking that
I don't know how
Emily
I
was
feel about
supporting
that,
her?
about that ending, but I feel like that was written for you to be sympathetic to Emily. and for you to sort of see Emily as like I felt like Emily's words landed on Lorelai there at the end.
Yes, I think so as well.
And it felt like a moment. It felt like a moment where Emily was being as she was mustering up as much just like practical advice as she could give her. And I don't think that her advice, I mean, if you look at really like the root of what she was saying is, I get that you want the storybook, but that's not what marriage is about. It's not just about the storybook, which is, that's what Luke represents. He represents the storybook. And I don't know if I would say like I agree 100% that like I just understand that a relationship is about compromise and it isn't always rosy, but I do think that it should begin from that rosy place, and that might be the part that that Emily isn't totally seeing yet, which is that maybe Lorelai isn't quite feeling she isn't feeling those like early relationship butterflies that she should, that
there's no.
Did you notice that she pointed out to Lorelai that you can't always have it your way? Yeah. Which is very similar to what you were saying about how Lorelai would dominate the relationship.
But that's what she was doing for even just the party. It was everything. Like, Chris was like okay with everything, and she just was no. This is not what I said. It's not what I want. It wasn't a we thing at all.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that he wants to have like a wedding? Like that he would be into like a big, like nice, like he does.
I do.
I think he would.
I don't think he would have minded.
Got to see him get married to Lorelai, who he's been wanting to be married to forever.
Yeah, I feel the same on that.
And maybe he also is okay with doing it because Rory got mad at him for eloping and not having her come. That this way she could be there with her parents.
I have a question for the whole couch for Mike Flashes.
Do it.
Who Mike show of Mike's? Who thinks that Lorelai would want a big, elaborate, like storybook wedding with somebody?
She planned one in a day for her and Luke.
Well, Mike Flashes. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, come on. She like was very hesitant on like getting married to Chris. Like, obviously she wanted, and this kind of goes back to our conversation the other day, where like, did she get married because she really loves him, or did she get married because she's lonely?
Yeah,
I see both.
I will say that this episode definitely does clarify that a bit.
Clarify
that a bit more than where we were at the other day when I was fighting very hard for the idea that she could be very much in love with, totally in love with Christopher. This episode certainly makes the case that she isn't really feeling that, but is trying to sort of go through the motions.
Yeah, and she wants a big wedding, and she said in the therapist card that like she didn't really see herself until Luke.
Right, but I would argue that you don't really totally see that until this episode.
No.
Like I don't think that the past episode is like a really good indicator that she's the fact that she's like being so against a wedding and all of this kind of stuff and doesn't want to have a kid with him, and all of that stuff seems very, very like clear that she wants the storybook, she wants the fantasy, and he is not that for her.
Do you think the town has anything to do with that? I mean, like her not wanting to invite her town's friends to a big wedding with Christopher?
Say again?
Do you think the fact that she just doesn't want to do a big wedding with Christopher has to do with that she doesn't really want to have to invite her townie friends to a big wedding with Christopher? Like, because it's not not what they all were
that's
expecting.
Good. That's good. But I do sort of feel like that has some bearing on how she feels about Chris. Like that probably the fact that she knows that the town doesn't really embrace him and that he wouldn't fit into that storybook picture probably also to a degree taints her feelings for him in general.
Mary, Lily, April, and Marquez is Michael.
Oh, I wasn't flashing. I was going to say Mary.
Yeah, I was going to say Mary. Let's hear your counter argument.
I was going to counter that. I don't think she wanted a big wedding ever. Someone's giving me a okay. I don't think she ever wanted a big wedding. If you consider Luke's plans, she found a small church with a hall right behind it. I don't think that she ever planned on having a huge wedding for Luke, and I think it goes back to Max. She had a huge wedding shower for Max where the entire town was invited, and the wedding got canceled. And then she ended up planning an even smaller wedding for Luke, and the wedding got canceled. I don't think she is interested in a big wedding anymore.
But that wasn't the question. The question was, would she want that? Because what you're describing suggests somebody who has closed themselves off because they're getting more and more afraid of the fact that every time she plans a wedding, it gets canceled. And so I want to make this smaller and smaller because whatever, but the real question is, would she want that if she could have it? If she knew that it was going to totally happen and everything was going to be fine, is she the type of person, is Lorelai the type of person who would enjoy a big, elaborate, beautiful wedding with like all of the town there and her at the center with a beautiful dress and all of the, and it seems like the couch does think that she would be into something like that.
Yeah, well, also when she was helping her mom when they were redoing the vows, she was looking at those big, lavish gowns. I think she does want to feel like the whole group is staring at her walking down that aisle. I don't see why she wouldn't. I do see why she would start to become afraid of it and why she might like start to reject it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't deep down want it. But she's actually already married, so if she has that now, it's not it doesn't matter if they turn around and say, well, we're not going to go through it. They're already married.
Yeah, but I think that was the thing. I think her focus,
the fear or aspect into it. I just felt like planning a wedding is tiring. Once you're at your third point of planning, like I'm the weird type of guy. I actually love wedding planning, and I've helped a lot of my friends plan them. I've unfortunately been married, divorced, and remarried. And when I got remarried, it was like, I've already done that, and it's so exhausting to put yourself through it. But my wife wanted it, and that's the way that we went. But after two other plannings that never happened, I can certainly see the fear aspect, but I just wonder if she's just tired of it.
It's a good point. I think that would make sense, that you would be tired of it.
Or maybe she just doesn't want to do that whole big wedding with Chris, because I mean, you saw it like on her face when Emily was talking, and then obviously we all saw Chris's 4-year-old I don't want to be here face, and like maybe she wants that, but she just doesn't want it with Chris. I mean, how many times did she say like, but we're already married?
Right. I also think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but you're saying you were married, divorced, married again. So you actually, the second time, had ended up going through the same kind of planning you already did before and had a wedding the first time, right?
Yeah, that is correct. And
that's sort of the difference, is that she never got it. That's the only difference, is that she's never gotten to experience that. Like she's gotten close, but like now the closest that she's gotten to getting that is we eloped in Paris. Like she never got to experience what even a modest wedding would be. She never got to experience that. And that might be more reason that there might be more reason to want to do something small, because like, you know, at least if I can do something small, like at least that can, you know, at least I can, the chances that will happen is greater than the chances, it seems, that something big, because I've tried to do the big ones and they just haven't happened.
But she says in the episode tonight.
Yeah, sadly for me, it was also because of the fact that you're just not. I realized on the first wedding, we invited everyone and anyone that we possibly could have known, because it was more of the idea of like big Southern wedding. And then after that, I realized how many that remained, and as I know, we really wanted people to learn about us and wanted to stick around.
I'm not sure if I heard a lot of that, because if it was your connection or mine,
no,
it was a lot.
It was breaking up.
Oh, okay. Mary, did you want to add to that as well? Oh, no problem. Mary, did you want to add on your thought, and then we'll go to April?
I was just saying, like she said today in this episode, but we eloped so we can avoid the big wedding. Like she expressly states.
Yeah, sometimes people say things that they don't mean, though. Sometimes some people do say things like in order to like to convince themselves that they don't really want something. They can. I mean, that maybe that's not what she's doing there, but I don't necessarily take her, like, I mean, that's the whole concept of subtext, right? Like subtext is like what's really below what you're saying. And I can buy this idea that she's rejecting it out of fear, or out of, you know, or even out of exhaustion, you know. But I've always thought that Lorelai strikes me as somebody who would, if the conditions were right, would want to have a big wedding. But I don't know. That's just my gut. I can't really say for 100% if that's true. That's why I asked the room whether others think that she does.
April, then Lee.
April?
My thought on this thing is that with this whole planning thing, is that partially it's her mom. You know, her mom's really pushing, and that's, you know, she always pushes back against mom. That's part of it. And then the other part of it is, yes, she's already married, and it's to Chris. And so, you know, as far as Stars Hollow, she's thinking there's so many people that are not, you know, maybe not accepting of it. The people she really wants to invite to something like this, she feels like maybe she can't, or it's too, you know, they wouldn't go to something like this, that her mother helped her plan, or, you know, something like that. And I think that's why she's been pushing back on a lot of the stuff. And
do you think that is it possible that,
you know, he's not who they expected, you know, right. And that was how she reacted to it. And it's not that I don't think that she wants a big wedding. She would, but she married somebody that the town necessarily did not expect. And she talks about the welcome wagon and how it wasn't, you know, they got cleaning products and things like that, you know. Yeah. And so she's thinking the people she really wants to be there may not be there for her at this thing. So why am I making a big deal out of this, you know?
But do you think that they really wouldn't? I think the town would come anyway.
I think they probably would, but she would feel like she's dragging them to this thing. You know what I mean? Like
right. Yeah.
Making them come to this
thing.
I
see that.
You know what I mean? And
well, let me ask this. Do you think, or anybody else who wants to chime in on this as well, do you think that I just mentioned this a second ago, if that has any effect on how she feels about Christopher? Like, do the people that you care about, like, can that affect your feelings for a person?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
like
yeah.
for me, like,
Yeah, I think like for some people, myself included, yeah, like it's ultimately like the person in the relationship's decision on whether or not they want to be with a person. But obviously, like your surroundings and the people that you spend the most time with are obviously going to be somewhat of an influence, because you don't want a person that you're interested in to not gel well or mix well with the people that you spend every day with. And the town itself, they spend so much time together because it's not a big town, like I've said. And Lorelai kind of likes other people's opinions. I mean, she's done that with every guy that she's ever been with. And so I think the town's opinion on Chris is hugely influenced on Lorelai, because she wants the town to like the person that she's with. And so far they have. And then Chris comes in and they're very hesitant. Patty doesn't flirt with him as much as she did when he first came into town. And so it's, yeah, like I've had instances where people I've spent every day with don't like the people that I like, and it's hugely influenced.
Mm-hmm. And also keep in mind, like she, when she was with Christopher, like her relationship with Christopher began before Stars Hollow. Right?
Yeah, I mean, she was a child.
She was a kid. She wasn't in Stars Hollow. And she's developed this relationship to Stars Hollow in all the time that they've been apart. So the idea that Stars Hollow would have a huge influence over how she feels about him now, even if she can return to that girl that she was and the feelings of love that she had for him back then, it makes sense, especially, with like that opening where they're looking at a house and she's just like, I really want to go back to Stars. Like, I don't want to leave Stars Hollow. Like, she has really settled in to that whole world, to all of those people, to everything. And that has to influence her feelings for him, like just the thought that nobody really likes him. In a town like a town of people that she finds so important.
Lee had been flashing before.
Yes.
Lee and then Shelley.
Yeah. So what I was kind of thinking bounces off a few points made by others. Do we think so obviously we know Lorelai's relationship to Emily and how like she hates these grand gestures, any part of Emily's world, like the fancy planner that she tries to kind of inject into Lorelai's life. She's always rejected those things. So do we think if it was, let's say, Patty and Babette saying, would you like us to throw you a party in Stars Hollow, a Stars Hollow type party, do we think she would still be like, no, we eloped for a reason? Or do we think she would be like, oh, hell yeah, give me a party?
I think she would want to do something with her friends, and
that's what
instead of her mother's, because you know that Emily's going to wind up inviting all of the people that she thinks Lorelai should have in her life, not the people necessarily that Lorelai has in her life.
But would Luke be at that?
No way would he. He would look. I think if she invited him.
I think that's an important part of why it might make her uncomfortable, because she knows that Luke is a part of that whole town, and she knows that he wouldn't be there, and I think that she would be sad about that.
Well, with Max's wedding, even he didn't come out to the engagement party.
Yeah,
and she had to go and grab him.
Yeah, and she was bummed about it. But here, like the way different than the Max situation, because now she knows there's no going and getting him, like he's not going to come. And that, I think that would be really hard for her. Shelley?
I just think she still feels somewhat ashamed that she's so quickly turned around and married him. And I think, just like what Lee said, she would probably have a party if she's like married to those townspeople first. And I think if they wanted to have a party for her, she would probably be more open to it. But I don't know. I think that she just doesn't want to she wouldn't want to have a party if it didn't include those people. And if they were, and she doesn't want to drag them to, somebody else said that too, doesn't want to drag them to the fancy party at Emily's arranging, and I don't know, just everything everybody else said.
Yeah.
I noticed one thing when she called, when she was on the phone with Rory, she had said, is Logan coming to this party or something? And she says, yeah, he is. And she goes, oh, good, because I'll be in the double digits. Like, that's how many people she had on her side that weren't her mother's friends, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That were coming to this thing. So obviously it's more for mom than anybody else. You know what I mean? It's obviously, it has a lot to do with Emily's world.
I should have guessed that this was the episode with the fight from the title, Mary Fisticuffs.
You should have,
John.
I really should have. Like, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh man, I didn't even see that. I didn't see what they did there.
It took me so long to figure out what the word fisticuffs meant. Until I was like, I think like I was in high school, and then they were talking about
Ernan's profile picture had a little bit of a fisticuffs thing going on.
Yes, it did.
All right. What other aspects of this do we want to explore?
I think we covered everything.
Did we really?
Luke,
we haven't done that in a while.
Mark the calendar, John.
Uh-oh.
August 30th, 2021. We finally covered everything.
We did Kurt selling Christmas paper was the only other topic.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the lawyer.
Oh, the lawyer. Oh shoot. Oh, Anna.
Guys.
Damn it. I was so happy.
Oh no.
That's
Anna.
never happened.
Okay, so
I wasn't
Anna,
in the room, and I heard y'all saying we got to everything, and I was trying to run back to my phone to be like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Anna is pretty ick in this episode.
Thank you.
You have the ick, John.
But I will say it's only in this episode. So the amount of ick that you were giving me was, you have to admit, kind of spoilery. Because this is really where she gets
I always ick.
No, her not telling Luke about his daughter is just the major ick for all of us.
That's true. Okay, that's true.
And the fact that she was like, I'm not sending April, when Luke called to see where April was, because she was like, I'm not sending April to you because you attacked me and I don't feel comfortable sending my daughter to you. It's like,
but she didn't even call to tell him that made the poor guy worry that the kid get hurt along the way.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like she didn't even she didn't even call to tell him she wasn't coming. But then also to even to even not send her because you're mad at Luke for just fighting for his rights for his kid. It's childish. But
What about is he gonna succeed? I don't think so.
You think he's gonna have a bummer?
I'm feeling pretty confident that it's not gonna work out well for.
The lawyer did say to him, I think we were discussing this yesterday about these sort of cases, that they always side with the mother. So it's not gonna be a fun fight either way, right. Whatever way it goes, it's not going to be a fun getting there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. With all of that, I get why, to a certain point, I hate Anna, and you'll see why. I get why she's upset. I get why she's doing what she's wanting to do, and we touched on this the other day, where Anna has to think of what she thinks is right, and she's a single parent. And I mean, no fault to herself on that one, but I get it to a certain point. But at the same time, and I think someone touched on this in the episode, it's yeah, you're mad at Luke, yeah, big deal. But now you're using your kid as a pawn. It's April probably doesn't even know really what's going on, and she probably is wondering why am I not going to my dad's, and to not tell Luke until he calls her. If Luke didn't call Anna, he would have been thinking, okay, where's my daughter? Is she okay? Like, she hasn't come. No one's called me. And I just hate how Anna is like dealing with this. Like, he honestly could have been like, look, called Luke and been like, hey, look, I understand what you said. I didn't really feel comfortable about you coming over and just yelling at me. Hey, I think I'm gonna keep April for a bit until we can sort this out. But the way that she's going about it, it's so like she's so wrapped up in herself, and she's not thinking of how this could be, how April could feel on this. And now Luke is like doing what he feels like he should and fighting for his daughter. And it kind of sucks the fact that like he's gonna he could get like a short end of the stick, because yeah, he hasn't been around April for her whole life, and who's to blame for that? It's Anna. And the fact that that's going to come to probably bite him in the ass is not fair to him, because that's not his fault, as he said.
I agree 100% with Tasha.
Same.
Me too.
Very true. And
Thank you.
I had a really bad ex, and I never kept my child from him. You know what I mean? I mean, he wasn't terrible to child. He was bad to me, but I didn't use my child as a pawn. You know what I mean? I think that's a horrible thing, especially considering they had just started having this relationship, the two of them, and she was mad at him when he was trying to say, oh, she can't come over today because of this and this. And she was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do, he was mad. She was mad at him for that at the beginning. And now look what she's doing. She's pulling her away from him like that so drastically and doing the same thing. So this child's getting used to seeing this guy on a regular basis, spending time with him for a week, going to this, when they went on this week-long thing with her school, all this time, she's had all this time with him, and then all of a sudden he's yanked out of her life. And that's just cruel, to confuse her to do that to her. That's just cruel and cold. It's a horrible thing to do.
Especially since she's also planning to move.
Exactly. And now she's probably like, what the hell? What's going on now?
And especially seeing as that was her issue with Lorelai being in April's life, is she didn't want people to just come and go wishy-washy and then disappear.
Totally.
And she's the one making that happen.
Yeah. And also taking her away from somebody she's developed a relationship to.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She's a bit of a hypocrite.
Oh, yeah.
Just a tiny bit of one.
It's delicious.
It's, Gilmore. It makes for good story.
Oh yeah, it's horrible, but it's fun to watch.
It's definitely it's sad. I mean, it's a real bummer. I'm guessing that there's going to be a scene with Luke at least seeing April off somehow. Like maybe April like sneaks away and comes over, and there's like a little like sad like hug, maybe April crying, and then that will be that. She will go. Like all right, everybody. I'm leaving. I will be back tomorrow at 7 for more fun. Tomorrow we cross the Rubicon.